Being pregnant, you see a lot in the media and in social media. You see, women who are glowing, who have like perfect little bumps, who are able to continue running and lifting. And I do think that there are many different ways of being pregnant and everybody's experience is different. It was a struggle, I think, because the way that women are meant to feel when they're pregnant is often in conflict with reality. In my mind, I had an idea, like I had a scheduled C-section, so I knew that I was gonna go to the doctor that day. I sort of had wrapped my mind around preparing for August 17th. But July 23rd, I went to the doctor, and unexpectedly, I was told that I was gonna give birth that day because I was breech, because I was 5 centimeters dilated, and because I had preeclampsia. They gave me a shot because they told me that my baby's lungs weren't developed enough, so the shot would hopefully allow him to live more easily. So all of it still, even as I'm talking about it, it's like a jumble in my head because of how fast it happened. When they actually pulled Corey out of my stomach, I remember it was like this feeling, like it wasn't pain, but it's like this like massive feeling like something was just like dropping out of me. I can't really explain it, but I guess that's when I realized that this was happening, right? So then they hand you the baby. I got to hold him for a second, and they immediately took him off, and he was taken to the NICU. So for the next 24 hours, I was focused on my own recovery. My baby was in the NICU, and so they told me that I couldn't see him unless I could walk. If anybody's had a C-section, it feels like a burning flame around your entire stomach. So on the one hand, I really wanted to see my son. On the other hand, I really could not move. But I remember that first walk around the hospital, really slowly, really painfully, in order to connect with Corey, because they tell you that after you give birth, you're supposed to put your child on your chest so that you can bond with him. And I couldn't do that because he was taken to the NICU. So I felt like right from the beginning, my opportunity to connect with my son was ruined. So I think that was what really fueled me to walk in as much pain as I was, so that I could get to see him in the NICU. I remember when I saw him, he was like this teeny tiny 5 pound, 14 ounces connected to all of these tubes. And then I felt badly again, right? Thinking about how much I hated my pregnancy, but how much I loved my son. And I think like we're not taught how to manage these conflicting emotions. Thankfully, he was only in the NICU for 3 days. We took him home. And when he got home is when my feelings of anxiety really, really went through the roof. I remember being afraid for my husband to even hold him. I had this image of me crushing him. I felt like constantly like I was gonna drop him. And I remember one day actually just walking out of the house and not telling my mom or my husband where I was going, because I felt like maybe if I just leave and don't come back, my son would be better off. And that was sort of a breaking point. That was when my husband realized that something was really going on, that my mother understood that I was really in a bad place. And they just, at that point, we had a conversation about like, what kind of help could I get? And again, like feeling so guilty, like I'm a therapist, how could I not see this coming? And I guess that now, 4 months later, things have gotten better. I see a psychiatrist monthly, and I have more clarity on what's going on, more of an understanding. I've been reading more, I've been sharing my story more, and other women have been reaching out to me, but it still remains like terrifying, and it's something that I'm really passionate about speaking about, because I don't think any person should give birth without knowing the possibilities of what could happen, because when you don't know and it happens to you, you feel like you're the only person in the universe that this is happening to. Black maternal health is directly tied to the healthcare system, is directly tied to the resources that people have access to. So for me, I was really thankful that I had the resources to have the doula. The doula literally talked me through any questions that I had, any fears that I had, and then I would go to the doctor and feel confident advocating for myself. But in order for women to stop dying, for Black women to stop dying, we need healthcare. We need people to actually care about us as human beings and to be invested in, in our lives and our children's lives. For soon-to-be moms or new moms, I want to say that whatever you're feeling is exactly what you should be feeling in the moment. What has been so hard for me is that I have had expectations in my head of what pregnancy should look like, of what motherhood should look like, of what life should be with a child. And if I could just let go of all of those things and feel what I truly feel, I think that that could be the start of acceptance and happiness, right? I met this woman who gave birth at the same time I gave birth, and she's already trying for her second child. And to me, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I don't even want to talk about trying for another child. But that is her experience, and that's what she's feeling right now. So whatever it is that you're feeling, I encourage you to feel it and to get help. Right? Whether that's just talking to your partner, whether that's texting a friend, whether that's posting on social media, whatever it is, please do not isolate yourself, because there are very real consequences. There are women who end up hurting themselves. There are women who end up completing suicide. It's really important to be kind to yourself, and just know that it will get better.